So a while back, I think about, well, at this point, years ago, we actually looked at something called the Plague Doctor videos, right? Which was a set of videos that we saw appear, reappear, and actually saw in their entirety on the Deep Web series. So these ones were basically just, I guess, to put it into perspective, it was essentially just a video of, it was kind of like a deep web art project, I guess, if we're going to be honest here. And it was a plague doctor that was flashing up signs and putting Morse code throughout the video. And ultimately, one really interesting part about it were there were little messages hidden within the audio frequencies of those videos. Now, up until now, we've only had two videos of those. And throughout the years, we've encountered both videos when they were popular. And we've even encountered, those same videos inserted into other deep web art projects. So it's almost become kind of like a meme from that era. In fact, a lot of these really popular media pieces from the deep web, like, Sat Satan, or in the case, this, it does actually show that these are kind of like in that, I guess you could say, the lexicon of the deep web almost. Like it's part of that. It's part of the deep web as much as anything else. Now, this video had originally came on a site known as Gadget ZZ, and in fact, if you scroll down on the website today, you'll actually see where we're going to right now. The reason why we're making this video particularly is because this ARG has actually been recreated. Not recreated, sorry, it's been updated about a month ago from now, roughly. Now, one of the original posts, the top posts, are in fact these Plague Doctor posts. Now, over here, you've got a post from 4 years ago with 979 comments on this. In the original article about 11BX1371, which was the original file name. I, however, omitted that when we initially looked at the photo or the videos or whatever it came to it. Apparently they received a letter from Poland with a really weird CD. Written on the disc is what looked like a product key. However, upon examining the contents of the CD, it's quite clear that this is a puzzle of some sorts. And the more and more you go down over here, the more and more you'll realize that they've got, the video stills that they're showcasing, and it's actually a pretty nice investigative piece. They kind of detail a lot of the things that it's a good summary of the actual video in general. Now, if you look at it nowadays, this is ultimately an art project. In fact, it's a project that belongs to Parker Wright on the YouTube page over here. He's got about 37,000 YouTube subscribers. And if you look around, you can see the original video that we had seen, which is 2 minutes in length and currently has 3.4 million YouTube views. 110A30213, which, well, let's just take a look at real quick, which was another video from that era, and one that I don't think we've seen. I don't think we've really seen this one, but as you can see, it's got that VHS filter to it, and the production quality is actually fairly decent on this stuff too. It has dramatically less views from anything. I think time had passed enough, and you've got messages that are sort of floating around and all that good stuff. And the more and more you sort of dig in, the more and more you realize that it is just, in general, a short, weird art project. There are slight links, I would suppose, between both of these pieces, but at the end of the day, you've got these two videos, and that was pretty much what it was until now. This is one video known as 11B451T8, which is 423,000 views. 1 month ago, we actually had this uploaded. And if we actually listen to it, one of the tags on the videos is Aokigahara, which references Aokigahara Forest in Japan, also known as the Suicide Forest. So let's go sit down, kind of hit play, and we're not going to watch the whole video. We're kind of just going to sort of skim through, see what the really important pieces are. So let's just do that real quick. So you've got the Plague Doctor back again, and yeah, you've got like crazy audio effects that are kicking in. Like it's without a doubt out there. Now, one thing to note too is the production value, again, is incredibly high. Like, this is kind of one of those things that weirded me out initially when we looked at it during the deep web, because the production quality in comparison to a lot of the other deep web art projects that we've seen is substantially high. So there's no reason why, like, this, like that was a reason to weird out. Usually when you look at a deep web video, it's kind of like Minecrafted out. Like, we're talking like 144p, maybe not even 20 frames a second, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking sometimes we get that 15 frame life going, like original YouTube. But you got them staring out, and that's really what it is. Here you've got them just sort of, it's got a lot of the still photography sort of look to it. Okay, so at that moment in time, you heard like audio, like you heard like phones, like numbers given to you, like throughout that. He's got handcuffs on, reading through it, like they've got multiple people recording it. So obviously there's some weird sign being given through it. I almost feel like the audio drivers are a little messed up. I feel like the audio just like it screwed up my computer audio real quick. Give me a second to check that. No, I just did a check on audio. It was not that weird. It was actually like this is it sounds like this. Was that? Wait, what is it doing? So it's flashing up numbers as we go through. That's sort of a thing that happens. In fact, we might be able to see it. So if we go frame by frame on YouTube section, which actually allows us using the, not arrow keys, but sort of the, not the exact arrow keys on here, just the arrow keys next to the shift, like the less than and greater than, we can actually see a message that has popped up, I believe. Yeah, so we've got WETS, YGIS, YEFP, TDRC, ZUVK, EVVR, I believe, VQGB, XYLW, ZLAN, MBRS, VW, MX, UX, and it's actually a little hard to read because of the opacity. Like it's blending really well. Like you have no color in the video, and like the text is so like just stuck in there. It's not working the way that it should be. It's kind of a little hard. You would need some editing software to kind of look through it. Then you've got those same signs sort of flashing right over here, and we've seen those symbols before. And my God, the audio is just terrible to listen to. This might be the worst audio in the Plague Doctor series, without a doubt. What was that flashing image of real quick? Yeah, we've got symbols of an eye shaped on the sideways, triangle pointing downwards with what believes like a little handle at the end. You got a skull to the left, and it's almost like a weird sigil that's been placed. What's interesting to note is this video keeps getting forwarded and like reversed, like it keeps getting like the tracking, like the tracking on it keeps going backwards and forwards too. So notice that as well. You can see that with the trail of smoke actually. God, dude, that audio. So anytime you hear pieces of audio like that in this situation, it's safe to know that there's a message embedded, and that's a big deal when it comes to these videos. It's almost like the truth out of it too. So let's take a quick look at that. So while there's plenty of tools you can use to read a spectrograph, I just kind of stick with Adobe Audition because I use it on a professional basis anyways, this and Pro Tools. And Adobe Audition actually has a really sweet way for you to view something too. So basically what you can do is click this little button on the left which shows you spectral frequency display. Basically what a spectrograph in video or audio terms is that it allows you to find words that have been spoken phonetically, and you can hear specific calls or sounds through a spectrograph. Almost consider it like a heat map of audio, sort of to speak, but over here you have photos that are hidden. Now, this might be censored in this case, but one of the important things about the Deep Web, about this video series in particular, is amongst this, because that audio sounds so weird, it's actually because messages and photos have been embedded in. That's why you hear that weird crackling, all these weird audio effects. So over here you can see a symbol straight up embedded in this piece. So if I can just kind of run you through, as this piece of audio is playing, you get this symbol. And you can just scroll more and more to the left real quick. Again, there is actual like pornographic material that has been put into this, so I can't exactly show you it all in its entirety. There is pornographic material that that the video maker has put in. So around over here, this is censored, but this is what appears to be a vagina, like a woman spreading her legs at this moment in time. That is censored out. That is straight pornographic material. And despite this in particular, despite sort of how illegible it is, it's actually encoded pretty well. So you can actually see it in its entirety. In fact, that is without a doubt what is in that new video. So in Aokigahara, what you've got in the video that we just saw was straight adult material put into it. So you can actually find this video. If you found an MP4 video floating around, you can put that video into a spectral filter and view it for yourself. So it is just straight adult content in this situation. It was speculated a long time ago that there was like, death footage, snuff footage in this, and I could never confirm that, but I mean, I guess I can try and look into it as much as I can. I think last time I did see it, but it is one of those situations. Now over here, you also have more images that are encoded in. Again, you may not be able to see it. I may have to censor it because it is very difficult to kind of see what we've got going over here. But it is hard to make out. Again, I'm not going to rely on how YouTube acts in this situation. I'm just kind of give you what I'm seeing in the general sense. Here's another video over here. You can see that around here, in accordance to the waveforms, there's nothing really being showcased. And the more and more you go around here, if we open up the spectral pitch, for instance, we don't really see anything either. So we actually have to see it in the spectrograph. I tend to do this a fair bit with deep web videos that we watch anyways, where I view their spectral pitches all the time, just because there could be a message embedded within it. So that being said, that was sort of the big highlight of this video series. And I guess to be a little speculative, back in the day when this first came out in 2015, we thought it was like a message given by some like weird people, like as a threat to like world governments or something. Like, it was crazy back in the day. Like, there was some conspiracy theories being fished out of nowhere. And at the end of the day, it turned out to be just a deep web art project by an individual, right? Or at the most, an advertising by some Polish company that kind of wanted to go the little avant-garde route, if you will. Now, of course, I don't want to just leave this video where it's at. One of the questions that I got asked at that moment is like, how do you do this in any video? How do you get this going? Well, one of those things is you can actually do this yourself fairly easy. Now, there's this piece of software you can get called Coagula, which, by the way, it's freeware. You can download it. Again, I don't recommend, do a couple virus checks on it, just saying. Again, you're responsible for what you do on your computer. If you get a virus, it ain't my fault. But you get a program called Coagula. And so over here, let me guide you through this. So this is a selfie that I took. This is just me over here, dressed up like an old man. Now, in this situation, we're going to fire up Coagula, and it comes in a light package, and it looks like this. So it's got sort of like an old classic, like Windows XP style programming interface to it. And if you open up one of the images in this case, so you go to desktop, let's open up this image in particular. And you can see this is the image and what it looks like. So let's convert this into an audio piece. So in this, what we're going to do is we're going to go to like tools or options, in this case sound. We're going to go to render without blue. What this is going to do is it's going to render this piece out. So if you listen to it, it sounds weird. Now, as the pass goes over my face, you can see the audio gets a little different. Now, that's all fine and dandy. Once that's done, we're going to do save sound as. And I'm going to save it as a test piece. And it ends up being a 430 kilobyte file, so it's not too terribly big. Again, to listen to it, it sounds like this. That's where my face is, where it like sort of starts to like narrow up a little bit because there's actually data being recorded. I guess that's different. Now let's put this file into a sound program, and let's open up the spectral pitch real quick. So we have the wave file, and over here it's just your standard waveform. So that's what it looks like. As you can see in the middle, that's where my face will be. Now if I open up the spectral pitch, you can actually see my face is right here. So if I just sort of pull this up over here, it's not perfect. I'm sort of spread out a little bit, but let me just extend it. So you can see that's my face over here. Now, not a lot of data got put in. You got to remember, when you're putting a message in here, it's not as easy. You won't get a full color reproduction of it. In fact, you'll get sort of whatever heat map you're spitting out. Of course, nothing around me was ever put in. None of the back details of where I was standing. In fact, you just see me, and it's not even that super clear. However, you can make it out. So yeah, that's kind of how you do it on your own, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you make out pulling it. As you can see, this is both channels of audio. So even though I look slightly dark in the bottom section, it's actually reflected in the waveform. So you can actually kind of see, if you look closely, the top waveform, which is the left audio signal, is a little bit more, I guess you could say, fuller. A little bit more spread out from top to bottom versus the right audio versus the right audio channel, which is sort of a little thinner. Is there a reason for that? I really can't be the one to explain it to you. I guess that's how the image is encoded into audio. But yeah, that's kind of how you would send a message in secrecy to another person, embedded in a video file. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's kind of like the James Bond Mission Impossible style way of transmitting a secret message. Now, I gotta say, it was fun to uncover this as time went on, and it was fun to see an update to the situation too. And I do like Parker Wright's content for sure. All shout outs, this is his content. Just gonna point that one out there, and I would definitely invite that you go to his channel and give the guy some love. He's got a webpage over here for you to go through. Again, there's not much that I'm seeing on this webpage, but Parker does in fact have a Patreon, and for the quality of content that he's making and the short little pieces and puzzles that he's producing do cost some money to make. So, you know, if you do like what you saw here, I would highly encourage you to go to his Patreon and help support the guy a little bit so he can keep making these kind of weird pieces of content, because I do enjoy this as time goes on. And of course, those deep web art projects are going to get a little more fuller the more this guy makes content. I guess you could say that. That's kind of how it works. Parker, you become a meme to the deep web in a way. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is the interesting side of these video series. You know, I didn't think I'd be returning to Plague Doctor in a long time, but it seems like we've come back full circle almost. Maybe another circle, I don't know. The more this guy updates, the more I keep seeing this, the more I kind of have to cover it. So, Parker, big ups to you, buddy. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Plague Doctor video update. And it's been a weird side of the internet, I must say. But if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I hope you learned something today. So you can hate me all you want sometimes, but you also learned something through each upload, I hope. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.